Welcome back, guys, to another video brought to you by your one and only literary Pharaoh. I wanted to talk to you guys about the Ring 5 fight. And I thought it was an excellent night of boxing, or I should say, in American time, it was an excellent morning of boxing. I woke up. I had to literally set my alarm to like 4 a.m. and I woke up and I just started to watch the fights. I didn't watch all the fights. I didn't catch the first one, but I caught the Garcia and in Maniga. I think that's what you pronounce his name. I caught that fight, and I caught the Nagatani and Hernandez fight, and I also caught the obvious fight that I woke up for was the Noya Inoue and Picasso fight. And the night of boxing was amazing, of course, but the only thing that stood out to me in terms of being an eyesore or a black eye for the sport of boxing yet again is sketchy at best, sketchy judging cards. I don't know how Hernandez, number one, lost the fight against Nagatani. I think it was a brilliant display of determination and courage on the part of Hernandez because earlier on, Nagatani had the fight. He was winning the fight. But as I was watching the fight, I knew that everything that Hernandez was doing was strategic in terms of him conserving his energy and allowing, I should say, Nagatani to kind of punch himself out. The conditioning of Hernandez is, I've never seen anything like that. The guy was fighting in round 12 like he fought in round one. Well, actually, in round one, he didn't hardly throw any punches. But just to see him marching, literally marching towards Nagatani, like in a half jogging pace in round 12, after the amount of beating and after the amount of hits that he took was amazing. Now, I say beating because Nagatani hit him with some nice shots. Nagatani hit him with a flurry of uppercuts, sometimes triple uppercuts. But the most deflating thing about that is that Hernandez kept coming forward. And I think that as a fighter, I'm not a fighter, but I just know just from a psychological perspective that if you're giving out your best output, you're throwing your best punches, you're throwing your best combinations, you're landing flush body shots and head shots. And yet the guy you're hitting continues to come forward. I think that's deflating psychologically. And this is why I say that boxing is mental. Because earlier on, Nagatani looked good against Hernandez. It looked like it was going to be an easy win. But I know that Hernandez is a tougher opponent than that. Everybody has a strategy. All Hernandez knew to do is just to continue to come forward and force the fight, force Nagatani to fight. And to me, the way Nagatani fought was the only way he could win, but he didn't even win the fighting that way. A lot of people say he needs to move and just jab his way to a victory. You can't win that way with a fighter like Hernandez. You can't win that way with a fighter like Zepeda. Zepeda did the same thing to Shakur Stevenson. He forced Shakur Stevenson to actually fight that style. I don't think Shakur Stevenson had a choice. And if Shakur Stevenson decided to literally get on his bike, that would not be a good look for Shakur Stevenson's brand. So Shakur Stevenson was forced to fight. Nagatani was forced to fight. Same thing with Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason, when he fought Sam Noakes, he was forced to fight. Certain fighters that are like cyborgs, that are machine-like, that are just persistent, they have their high guard, and they're just coming forward, just throwing punches. You have to fight them off with you. And I think that in the earlier rounds, perhaps 1 through 4 or 5, perhaps Nagatani was dominating the fight. But when I watched the fight and I saw how the momentum changed, because Hernandez never stopped being Hernandez. I think the only time Hernandez was not Hernandez was probably the first 2 rounds. He was hardly punching. But from third round on, he remained the same guy. And he beat the living daylight out of Nagatani. I just thought he beat him in terms of, if I was watching a street fight, I'm not talking about technicality or who had more jabs. If you're just watching a fight, Nagatani got beat up by Hernandez. And the 118, 111 card was absurd. Whatever judge had that judging card was ridiculous. What fight are you watching? To me, the draw would have been a travesty. a win for Nagatani is actually, I'm just speechless. I was so upset. I'm thinking, is there a way that these these judges you could appeal the decisions? I don't know if they even have that in boxing, but to me, Hernandez was the winner in my book. And when you go to the fight after Nagatani's fight, when you go to the Inoue's fight, Inoue had a dominating performance. Yeah, he didn't get the knockout or the knockdown. However, he was fighting a guy that was fighting not to be knocked out, and it's hard to knock out guys like that. Picasso was not opening up that much. He started to kind of open up during the 11th to 12th round, and we saw more action during the later rounds, but he wasn't trying to get knocked out. And when you fight not to be knocked out, you've already lost. Again, the psychological battle in boxing. Boxing is a psychological sport. As physical as it is, it's as much mental as it is physical. I would say more mental because both guys in the ring have a degree of physicality that they bring with them. They're strong, they can fight, they can punch, they can move around. We know that part. Those elements sort of neutralize themselves. If you can win the psychological battle, you already have the upper edge. So to me, I think that the deflating thing with Nagatani is that he was like, oh my God, this guy is not stopping. And I think when you have that deflating aura that's poured upon you as a boxer, it affects everything. Number one, you're already physically tired. Then when you're mentally exhausted and physically exhausted, you're done. And I think that Hernandez beat him. I think that was I know we use the word robbery a lot. That was a robbery. Not even a draw would not even do it any good. I had it 8-4 Hernandez, and I think I had Nagatani within the first 4 rounds. If you want to say 7-5, okay, maybe you had Nagatani within the first 5 rounds. But in terms of the second half of the fight, Hernandez dominated Nagatani. He just did. Okay, so that was good. The Imanaga fight against Garcia, Imanaga came out just like Nagatani. He came out outboxing Garcia, and Garcia kind of sort of had a slow start. But when, again, this is the Mexicans have a weird way of strategically breaking down their opponents. You're always going to probably have the upper edge on the Mexican fighter early because you're showcasing yours. Because they just keep pressing forward; they don't stop. And Garcia just caught Imanaga with a I'm calling him Iman. He caught Iman with a crazy shot. And I think after that left hook dropped Iman, and I think it was downhill from there. And I think he just never recovered from that. And the power of Garcia is something to reckon with, to actually, to consider. Yeah, Iman perhaps outboxed on the scorecards. Outboxed Garcia, but the knockdown round, I gave that to Garcia. And the rounds after that, I just think Garcia just had the momentum. And again, a Mexican fighter coming on stronger at the second half of the fight. When I was watching the Picasso fight against Inoue, I didn't see Picasso picking it up later. I just thought that he was just too tight. And I don't blame him. You're fighting Inoue. I don't think that his boxing skill set and his boxing IQ was on par with Inoue. And I think it showed because he was afraid. When I say Picasso was afraid to let his hands go. And I think those things impacted the outcome of the fight and just caused Inoue to just gain confidence. You saw Inoue just literally standing in the pocket, just standing there still, just moving, dodging punches. And I heard, certain people were saying things to the effect of, Inoue's getting hit. Yeah, it's a boxing match. He's going to get hit. He's not a runner. He doesn't fight off his back foot. He moves around laterally. He has good footwork. To me, I don't even want to use the word perfect, but if there's no such thing as perfection, but if I can just use that word a little bit loosely here, pardon me for using that, he's a perfect fighter. Him and Shakur that I've seen with my eye are perfect fighters where they can move in and out of range. Once they figured you out, they just pick you apart. And it becomes a nightmarish fight for you because you are at their mercy at that point. That's what you call boxing IQ. But when you have the IQ and the skill set to actually pull off your IQ, then you're just above your opponent. Because I can have the physical traits and dominate you physically. That's one thing. But if I can outthink you and dominate you physically, it's over. And I think that's what happened with Picasso. Even though Picasso was a taller man, but in the ring, it seemed like Inoue was the bigger man. He stood taller. Inoue was a little wider. Picasso is stringy and tall. So yeah, it was a great night. I just think that again, we it seems like every card we're starting to see this, and I don't think that Turkey Al Sheikh is going to be very happy with that because we want to see the best fight the best. And right now, if it's set up for Nagatani to fight anyway, we know that Hernandez actually beat Nagatani. It should be Hernandez and Inoue. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I really think this is me personally, based upon what I saw from the Nagatani and the Hernandez fight. I think that the harder, because styles make fights, I think that the harder opponent for Inoue would be Hernandez. Why do I say that? Obvious for obvious reasons, because Hernandez beat Nagatani in my book, but because of the pressure style of Hernandez. And I saw the powerful shots that Nagatani hit him with, and it did not stop him. Now, I don't know who hits harder out of Nagatani and Inoue. A lot of people say Nagatani hits harder. That he's a knockout artist. He could knock you out. He has a he has strong. He has a good jab. He flicks the jab, and he has a nice left hook. He has good uppercuts. Okay, we get that. But the hits that I saw Hernandez take, I'm scratching my head like, well, damn. I mean, if Inoue hits him, what's that going to do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, you guys may say something to the effect of, hold on, let me take this call. Hold on. Hello? No, hold on, hold on. How does it sound? Okay. Good morning. How does this sound? Okay. Good morning. I have decided to cancel my appointment schedule for Monday. I want to be honest and transparent. I feel uncomfortable being asked for remaining balanced before my daughter's here. Well, I understand that and agree to 35 deposit. I feel that is an agreement that was breached. Yes, that's true. You got to be honest. I wouldn't even lie and say I had the fathers. I didn't get them. No, that's good. That's good. She can't do that. That's unprofessional. She shouldn't do that. Yeah, I agree with that. It's my wife on the phone, guys. Just give me a second. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she has a 50% discount. That's not bad. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, it's okay because that's a deposit anyway. That's cool. I mean, it's not cool, but I get it. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, All right. All right. I don't know. They're watching TV, but I'm doing a live recording right now. But they just got through eating their cereal. They brushed their teeth already and stuff like that. But I haven't gone up there to check if they did that yet or not. All right. But all right. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah. So that's where the fight went, and I think that if you talk about in a way, I think that like I said, the opponent that I believe that would give, I think if Nagatani fought in a way, I think Inoue's skill, his IQ, his head movement, his accuracy with shots, it'll be a good fight. Don't get me wrong, but I think that Inoue could pick apart Nagatani. But a fighter that's okay, you got to understand styles make fights. A fighter like Hernandez, I'm not saying that Hernandez is more skilled than Nagatani. He's not more skilled. He just has more will. He has something up here that and up and down here in the heart that Nagatani's not built that way. And we understand that Japanese fighters are strong fighters and they're very determined and very disciplined, not taking anything away from Japanese fighters. But the way that these Mexican fighters are built is something from I've never seen it before. The guy was like the guy was like a cyborg, just coming forward consistently. Even when he would get hit with hard shots, he would still trot forward. I'm like, that's Jason Voorhees-esque. That's like watching a Jason movie. You hit him with your best shots, you shoot him, you throw knives at him, you stab him, you cut him, and he's still coming at you. Like, that's scary. Think about what that does to a boxer psychologically. You're hitting him with your best shots that you would normally KO guys with. So to me, if you're, I don't think that I know Inoue has power, but he's not like just dropping guys like that. He's not like when is the last time he's KO'd a guy? So I think that him moving up in weight has sort of neutralized his power. And when I say neutralize his power, I'm referring to Naoya Inoue. But I don't know. I just think that I think that Inoue would beat Hernandez. Don't get me wrong. But what I am saying is that the heart, from my eyes, is from looking at the fight. And I know styles make fights. The sexier matchup is Nagatani and Inoue. We get it, which is why they fixed the fight, which was unfair because Hernandez should have won. But let's say Nagatani and Inoue do fight. I believe that Inoue would win based upon technical ability, his physicality, sharper punching, more accurate. I would add more experience. The different angles that Nagatani can show Inoue, I think Inoue can figure that out. And if it's a thinking game, I'm going to give the edge to Inoue. But if it's a physical game, I'm still giving the edge to Inoue because Inoue has a component about him that puts him above the rest. Now, if Inoue fought Hernandez, he'll still win, but Hernandez will give him trouble because you can't get him off of you. He wears you out by forcing you to fight and tires you out. And if you compare movement, it's just the laws of physics. Moving forward takes less energy than moving backwards because moving backwards seems like you're going against force. The potential energy as you're moving forward, your momentum carries you. You ever heard the saying that whatever starts in motion stays in motion? So if you start moving, it's easier to keep moving. So if you're fighting someone and you're backpedaling, because punching takes energy too. You punch, that gets you tired, but then you're backing up punching, you get worn out faster, which is why I believe that the legs of Nagatani gave, he continually had to keep pushing Hernandez off of him. Hernandez kept going to the body of Nagatani. So Hernandez is a very strategic fighter, not necessarily high boxing IQ, because his style doesn't require you to have a high boxing IQ because he's just high guard up, head forward, going forward. I'm bull charging you. I'm going to hit you in the body where I can, hit you in the face. I'm going to break you down. I'm going to break you down physically by beating you up, beating your body up, both body shots and head shots, but I'm also going to beat you physically or psychologically, I should say, because no matter how many times you hit me, I'm not going to stop. And even if I'm in pain, you're not going to see it. My poker face is second to none. I'm going to continue to keep coming forward. If he can have that type of psychological advantage over Inoue, he could impact Inoue in a negative way, but I still feel Inoue would win. But the harder fight to me will be Inoue and Hernandez. It just would be because of style. Because Inoue can figure out the boxers that want to outbox him. You saw what happened to Picasso today. He tried to outbox Inoue and couldn't do it because Inoue has a power, he has a precision, he has a head movement, he has a defense. And to me, Inoue has an underrated and an insanely underrated defensive game. His defense is highly underrated. As much as we talk about his offense, I don't think enough homage or enough emphasis or enough respect is put upon his defensive game. So to me, if it's a tactical matchup, if it's a chess match between Nagatani and Inoue, I give the edge to Inoue. But when you're talking about a bull like Hernandez, there's no strategy for that. You just got to fight him off of you. And for 12 rounds, you have to continue fighting a guy off of you. That will wear you out. And you got to be careful because that guy coming towards you has power too. So Hernandez is a problem. And to me, I don't believe in moral victories. I believe he won today. He actually won. It's not like he lost and he kind of fought well, so we kind of give him a hand. Good job, A for effort. No, A for effort and A for win. He won. He just literally got robbed. There's nothing we can do about his boxing fans. He's going to end up having an L on his record. But those Mayweather days are done. We're not trying to keep O's. It's not about keeping your undefeated record. People who watch boxing and people who are true pugilists, they're going to watch the fights and they're going to see. They're going to have eye tests. They're going to say, okay, yeah, I watched the last fight with Nakatani and Hernandez. Hernandez won that fight. And even though he has an L on his record, I believe in him. So no longer is an L something that's going to dethrone you or ruin your career. Because back when Mayweather fought, everyone was just trying to keep their, especially after Mayweather left. That's what they call the Mayweather effect. After he was done, a lot of fighters would try to cherry pick their certain opponents and fight them at a strategic time where they can have the upper hand or the advantage so they can get the win because nobody wanted to have a blemish on their record. But to me, losing a fight that you won is not a blemish. As a matter of fact, it's a blemish on the sport of boxing, which is why boxing has so many layers to overcome. We're now currently getting over the politics where the best fighters were not fighting the best fighters. We're starting to get that now with Ring 5 and the insertion of Turkey Al Sheikh, Saudi money. We're going to Riyadh season, so we're having boxing sort of arise from the ashes of where it was, right? But I think now what we need to overcome, we need to become a little bit more nuanced, sort of like what the NBA and the NFL does. They try different things, and if it doesn't work, they go back to the drawing board. I think that they need to remove the power of judging. I think that fans should have a say so. Now, I know you guys may say, well, that's not fair. Some fans may be pro a particular fighter. Some people who are fanatics, they may be fanboys of a particular fighter. They may choose him. But I really believe that true pugilists and true boxing fans are not like that. I think you can watch your favorite fighter and root for him. But if he's getting his ass beat, you're going to say, yeah, you lost. And it's simple and plain. And I think that because if you watch the fight, when it showed the fan zone on the fight, you saw that the fans were right about the Hernandez fight. Hernandez won that fight. A draw would have been a robbery, but to say he lost is a double robbery. It's a hijacking. It's armed robbery at that. So that was my take on the night. I think the night was great. I think that Naoya in a way showed his skill set, his masterful skill set, and he literally just picked apart Picasso. He painted the Picasso. And it kind of reminds me of what Oshaki Foster did to Schoolboy. It was just a masterclass performance. And I think that even at the end of the fight, if you heard what Inoue said, he wasn't even excited about the fight. He said that he didn't put on a good performance. I'm like, damn, dude, your standards must be out of this world. You just got through beating the number 2 guy that was 32-0. You made him look amateurish from round 1, from pillar to post, BTA, belt to ass, round 1 to round 12, and you're not happy with your performance. Now people say, well, he's not happy because he wants a KO. I don't mind that he didn't get a KO. I loved watching him picking them apart. I mean, it was excellent boxing on display. If you ever wanted to watch, if you were an alien that came from outer space, you don't know what boxing is, I would put on a tape of Naoya Inoue's fight and say, this is what boxing is. This is the essence of boxing, of how to move, footwork, power, jabs, uppercuts, head movement, everything. So, I mean, the night was great. And I think that Inoue is going to take a break. He's had like 4 fights this year. I think he's earned it. He got the ring belt. Which is the most important belt in my opinion. And I think that he does deserve the rest. And we'll see how things go. But he's not against fighting Bam. He's like, when Bam moves up, I'll be ready for him too. Need I remind you guys, Inoue's not young. I know he looks young. He looks like a young boy, but he's 32 going on 33. And yes, he's in good shape, but age, no one beats age. Father Time catches up to everybody. So we want to see that Bam and Inoue fight sooner than later, because I don't want Bam to catch him on the downslide of Inoue's prime. Because then if Bam wins, the credit is taken away. Oh, you fought Inoue when he was on his way out. They need to fight sooner than later. All right, leave a comment, guys. Tell me what you guys think. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is my first time using StreamYard. This was an experiment, me putting the background back there and talking. And I'm glad for the 2, 3, 4 people that tuned in. I just wanted to give my take on the fight. I'm not a boxing channel at all. If you look at my channel, I talk about a sundry of topics. I just talk about things that resonate with me. I'm not a boxing channel. I'm not a basketball channel. I'm not a football channel. I just talk about things that are passionate to me. I think that's the best thing to do if you're a content creator. If you put yourself if you pigeonhole yourself in a particular category and just say, this is all I'm going to talk about, then you stop yourself from being creative and talking about the topics that you're passionate about. I think that the one thing that a lot of people do, they mimic other people. They say, oh, that guy has a boxing channel, I want to have a boxing channel. Or that guy has a this channel, I want to have this. Why not have everything? Why not have an opinion on everything? And that's fine that I don't have a predominantly boxing fan base, or a predominantly football fan base, or predominantly whatever fan base. This is about me. It's not about me trying to get clicks. I'm not going to beat you over the head to subscribe. I'm not going to beat you over the head to like my videos. I'm not going to do that. Not that I have pride. I just think that everybody does that. And I think that if you like my content, you're going to automatically like it. If you like what I'm telling you and you like my videos, then you automatically will subscribe. I don't need to tell you that. You're a full-grown adult, or you have a sound mind being able to make your own decisions. You don't need me to pound you over the head to subscribe to my channel and to like my videos. That's number one. And number two, I'm not doing this for clicks and to get ratings. You have to stay true to yourself. If all the 600 and something subscribers that I have, that's organic. Those are just people who felt led by the heart to just subscribe. I've never forced anyone to subscribe. So I'd rather grow my channel organically that way. And I feel weird even saying my channel, because I don't even view myself as a content creator. This is actually therapeutic for me. This is fun. I could talk on here with nobody watching me. I'll be fine, even if I have no views. I just like to speak my mind. And if it's one person that listens, that's good. If it's two, that's even greater. So thank you guys for listening. Leave a comment to me what you guys think. Until next time, peace. Oh, hold on here. Somebody left a comment. Solid card, but not. Oh, solid card, but that damn disgusting. Yeah, man. Metal Hendrix. Yeah. Oh, I see you on Show Business Channel. Yeah. It was a robbery for sure. For sure, it was a robbery. Even it's like the 111, 118 card was just the scoring was just more like salt in the wound, right? Like the other card, it was already diabolical that the other two judges gave it to Nagatani, but then the 118, 111, I'm like, what the heck? Like that made me even more upset. You know, not even a split decision, unanimous. I mean, not one judge saw Hernandez winning that fight. And I'm thinking, like, what? So yeah, that's the only thing that bothers me about boxing. You can watch a fantastic card, but the judging could put a sore on the event, on the night, right? You watch the fight, you're excited, you like what you saw, but you, in the core of humanity, we want fairness. We just want fairness. We have both guys who worked extremely hard to make this fight happen. They trained. They probably had great nutritional plans. They probably sacrificed a lot. You get in the ring, you just want the best person to win. Nagatani fought great, but I felt that Hernandez won the fight. And I think that to take that away from a fighter, that's how you can slowly kill a fighter. And I think that if anybody follows Hernandez, whatever the Mexican fan base that he has, y'all need to show him a lot of love, because as an athlete, I played sports before. It's very debilitating when you're fighting against your opponent and you're fighting against the judges. You have no chance. There's no chance in hell. You beat your guy in the ring, but you can't beat the judges, because the judges can do whatever the hell they want, as you saw with the 111, 118 card. All right. So yeah, that was bad. Yeah, I heard Turkey was pissed about the whole. Yeah, Turkey was pissed because you're messing up. I hate to say that you're messing up my money, but you're messing up with his money. You're messing with the fan base. And this is what causes fans to kind of pull back from boxing, to start to think that it's about politics. Now, we're just now getting to the point, like I said earlier, that we're getting the best to fight the best. That's one hurdle that we've scaled. So I'm happy about that. We've scaled that hurdle. But I think the next hurdle to scale is to corrupt the judge. And I say corrupt because there's no way that if you watch that fight, it's corrupt, because it's obvious that it's corrupt. What gave it away, Metal Hendrix, is the 118, 111 card. That to me is what kind of gave it away. Like, you guys are corrupt. That's corruption. That's not, oh, we kind of saw it differently. It was a close fight. It could have went either way. It could have been a draw. No. 118, 111? Nah, come on, man. So yeah, that needs to stop. I think somehow, some way, the fans' voice needs to be inserted into boxing, where fans have a say-so. Sort of like how fans have a say-so in the All-Star vote in the NBA. Something to that effect. And I said this earlier, and I'm going to say this before I leave. And I know the risk with that is that, let's say you fight a Mexican fighter is fighting, and he has a pro-Mexican fan base in the crowd. and there's more Mexicans watching that fight, and he's fighting against a relatively unknown black boxer. And let's say the black boxer wins, but a lot of black people, because boxing gets racial, right? But if a lot of people are pro the Mexican fighter on a card that's predominantly for Mexicans, it's going to be kind of tough to lean on the audience or lean on the fans to be the credible, I don't know, the credible judges of the fight, right? You can have corruption there, but there needs to be something that neutralizes the judging, because we can't leave no longer. Look, listen to this, Metal Hendrix. There are too many fights where after the fight is done, we're scratching our heads like, that's a robbery. We shouldn't have that. We shouldn't have that. We should have it to where after a fight's done, you have a clear winner. Just like you watch a basketball game or you watch a football game. There's a clear winner and there's a clear loser. Now, sometimes, yeah, we understand that referees may have a part to play in the game. They may miss a call. They may blow a call. We get that. But at the end of the day, for the most part, the decision of the games are left on the field or left on the basketball court. When a guy beats up another guy in the ring and does his part, then you leave it to the hands of the judges to pull away your victory. That's not good for boxing. And as a boxing fan, I don't like that. Even though I love Nagatani, I wanted Nagatani to win. But in my eyes, I love boxing. It's like Showbiz says, I love boxing more than the boxer. And even if Inoue got his ass beat today, I wouldn't be upset like, oh, they robbed Inoue. I'd be like, no, David Picasso just beat him up. He won. That's the way it works. All right, thank you guys for listening. I'm gonna leave now and talk to you guys next time. Yeah, the fan scorecard on screen is a good thing. I like that. The fan score is a good thing. And that's where I'm getting the idea from. I'm thinking like, but then again, I don't think that could be corrupted though. I have a belief in the fan base. I believe that even though you have people who love Canelo, I feel like even people who were pro Canelo who watched that fight can actually say, yeah, he lost. Or maybe it was a draw. But they're not going to give they wouldn't overwhelmingly give the fight to Canelo. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think the fans voting is a good idea. And they need to incorporate that because it's too many fights. We're leaving upset and pissed that somebody got robbed. The Loma and the Haney fight was one that I remember. I don't like that. That's not good for boxing. These are human beings that are risking their lives, and the least you can do is get the scorecard right. God damn. All right, thank you for listening, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Yeah, peace, Metal Hendrix. Peace out, man. Have a good one. All right, bye.